Hi everybody, thank you for joining us today. I'm Becky Howland and this is Peggy Axelson, and we are a couple of the marketing experts here at Nex-Tech, and we are going to present some ideas on how to get your business ready for 2019.
All right, we're going to start off with our SMART goals. So Becky, I'm going to let you dive into that and kind of explain what SMART means and how to attain those goals.
Yeah, I really like this graphic because it really explains how to set your goals and why you need to set them the way you do. So the S is going to stand for specific. Make sure that you are setting a specific goal that's going to help you reach your overall sales quota, number of products sold, and so forth. M is going to stand for measurable. What we mean by that is making sure that you're setting up a tracking method to track your number of sales and how much revenue you're making. The reason why you want to do this is because if it ends up that maybe you're not going to get your return on investment, then you need to change up some things. Or maybe you find out that this goal worked very, very well and you can do this again later on. So it's just a good way to measure how well things work for you. And then A stands for achievable. And I'm going to tie that in actually with realistic. So we don't want to set goals that are unattainable and unrealistic. That just doesn't make sense for a business. So make sure you're setting your goals that are within reach. Timely. We want to make sure that we're setting a specific time frame on when we're going to reach these goals. If you just have, say, I want to sell 200 products and that's it, then you're never going to meet your goal because you don't know when that time frame ends. So definitely set up a time frame for that goal.
Right, so a good example of this would be like our Facebook marketing or a goal to set on Facebook. We want to reach 500 followers by May 31st. That is going to give us our specific and our timely. And then to measure that and achieve it and make it realistic, we are going to promote our products, our services, have a likes campaign, have a tag and share campaign, and that'll help engage people and gain your new followers and keep your old followers engaged as well.
That's a great example. And like she said, she went over the specific, the measurable, the timely, and it makes sense and it's realistic. So that's a great example. So our next slide is about the SWAT team. What is a SWAT team?
So we are going to, after we set those goals, bring in the SWAT team. SWAT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we want to talk a little bit about how we're going to approach those and how we're going to tackle them throughout the year.
Okay, so let's see what that's going to look like. When you're usually setting up your SWOT analysis, is what we're going to call it, it's set into quadrants like you see here on the screen. And like you mentioned, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Setting it up this way gives you an easy visual to look at so that you can evaluate and figure out what you need to change in your business. So why are your strengths important? You want to look at, is it your employee base is your greatest strength, like your excellent customer service? Or is it your product is a way better quality product than the competitor? Weaknesses you might want to look at is maybe you're a small company trying to compete with the big dogs. There's a lot of weaknesses that you could look at, and you need to be realistic with those. I mean, nobody likes to think about the weaknesses of their business, but you need to be honest with yourself and list those out. Opportunities, maybe your opportunity is that you're launching a new product in 2019. So that could increase your revenue, by X percent. Threats that you want to look at, this could be related to your competitor. Maybe you have a new competitor coming to town that is going to take away some of your customer base. So you need to plan for these things and make sure that you are prepared for what's ahead. So Peggy, the next thing we're going to focus on is picturing your ideal customer. What do we mean by this?
So as you're thinking your marketing strategy and what you want to do, what you want to promote, sell, all of that, you're going to think of who you're going to benefit most from. You want your ideal customer to benefit not only from you, but you want to benefit from them. While you're choosing an ideal customer, you want to think of things like, why would they choose you? What are their desires? And what strengths do you have that will appeal to your ideal customer?
So dive into desires. What do you mean by that?
When you're promoting a service, I'm going to use some of our services here at Nex-Tech. Landline phone is something that we wouldn't spend a ton of time picking out an ideal customer that is a younger generation that has their cell phone all the time. They're going to use that. They're used to that. They've grown up with that. So we don't want to promote our landline services to them. On the flip side, we've got cable services, cable TV services that all of our customers love. We have just launched a new cable TV service. It's a TV Now. It's a streaming service. We're going to promote that more and target more our younger generation that is used to that cell phone device and has streamed and is used to the internet streaming and everything there that they're comfortable with.
Okay, so kind of paying attention to what your customer wants.
Correct, yes.
Okay. So next we are going to look at preparing your advertising and marketing budget. What are some items we would want to include in that budget?
Your budget, of course, is a huge part of your marketing strategy. That is going to include all of your events. You're going to do events throughout the year from January to December. You've got to think at one point in time to create this budget of everything throughout the year. Events can add up. If you're going to donate to that event, if you're going to sponsor that event, if you have a giveaway at that event, those things are little things in the scheme of the big things that add up.
Sure.
And then, of course, all of your sales, your giveaway items, and then we get into some things that people don't always think about when it comes to creating their budget would be the signage, the print and digital advertising, things like that.
That's great. And I'm glad you brought up signage because I feel like that is an item that a lot of people might forget about. You know, it's something on your building that maybe you look at every day, but it just kind of becomes part of the background. Right. And you want to make sure that you're evaluating that, especially if you have multiple locations. Make sure you go out and visit all of your locations because eventually those signs are going to need updated, and it could be a big chunk of your budget to do that. So
yes.
So Peggy, I feel like we're going to have a great tool for people today. What are we going to give our watchers today?
For watching our webinar today, we want to offer you our outline for our budget. We've kind of constructed one to go through the full year and through our quarters. And I think that's important to keep in mind what you're going to be doing throughout the year, break it down into quarters, kind of see where your money is going to be coming in, where it's going to be coming out, and it's got all of the formulas in there as well.
That's great. So we are not going to leave you hanging today.
Yes. Next up, we want to talk about marketing trends. 2018, of course, as we're wrapping up, we want to consider what we've done through the year of 2018, what current marketing trends are here to stay and that will kind of roll over into 2019. So Becky, I'm going to let you kind of go step by step, and then we'll go back and forth on why these marketing trends are important and why we want to keep them in mind for 2019.
Sure. The first one we have listed here is reviews. Those are extremely important because I think as humans, we tend to trust reviews and we trust what our friends are going to say. You know, and probably when you're purchasing a product, do you read a lot of reviews?
I do, and most consumers are going to nowadays. They're going to do all of their research ahead of time. So if my friend Becky gets on Facebook and gives a great review to a camera that I've been researching, I'm probably going to lean more towards the camera that she has and loves versus a camera that doesn't have any reviews or has bad reviews. With that being said, I feel like if you love a product and you go out and review it, that company benefits hugely from that. So as a company, if you have a happy customer, it's not bad to ask for that review. Ask for them to review you on Facebook or review you on Google. Anywhere your customers are going to look for your services, you want happy people to go review.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, if you notice somebody gives you a bad review on any platform, it's a good idea to go back to that customer and find out, find the root of the problem and find out if it's something that you can correct. Because a lot of times, if you can fix the problem for them, they'll go back and fix their bad review and change it to a good review.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, how do customers communicate? This kind of goes back to what you were talking about with your customer desires and what is it that they're looking for and what platforms are they using? Can you give us some examples of those?
Right. If your customers are communicating, your ideal customer is a Facebook user. You want to make sure that you push your products on Facebook. You've got those good reviews on Facebook, and you've got anything that they may need, whether it be a link to your web page or anywhere that they're going to be searching. You want to be able to communicate with them.
For sure. And I know we've talked about this in previous webinars too, but video is growing
Yes.
substantially, actually, and it's going to continue to grow in 2019.
Yes, I'm going to tie the video is growing into our next bullet point with social media.
Yeah.
It's huge to have, whether they be short video clips or informative video clips, anything like that on your website, your Facebook page, your LinkedIn, there are so many places, YouTube. Put those little videos out there that people can share and people like. That also usually comes with me saying, if I share a video, I love this product, or this is why I love Nex-Tech, is going to go along with that, and that you kind of get the review in the video.
For sure, because again, those are the people we are going to trust as consumers.
Yes, correct.
The last one, be human. What we mean by be human is just be yourself. I mean, you don't want to seem robotic to people, so I like to talk to a real person, and most consumers feel that way.
Yes, I think one of the bigger, the easiest way to be human with the short videos, everything tied together, would be to utilize the live features on lots of social media platforms as well. So they see who the voice is behind the words. Yeah,
and since you mentioned live, that's kind of an untapped area, I guess, in marketing. You know, some businesses are doing live videos on Facebook and Instagram and so forth, but not a whole lot yet. Right. So if you're brave enough to get out there and do a live, go for it. People like those.
Yes, definitely. All right, and to stay along with our trends, we want to talk about the trends that we are going to look forward to and the trends that will continue in 2019, everything that we want to make sure we put within our SMART goals and our SWOT analysis and everything like that as well.
Definitely. We should always be looking towards the future and what trends are happening in the future as far as marketing goes. So content marketing, this really is becoming the new form of marketing. You can no longer wait and sit and wait for businesses to come to you. Most consumers live a very busy lifestyle, and so you will need to push your content and your products and services out to the customer. What are some examples of how we could do that?
My favorite would be like your Facebook marketing. Facebook allows you to schedule a post. So schedule it for that 12 o'clock hour when the busy people are on their lunch breaks and can check Facebook for 5 minutes and can look at your products and all of that. Another thing would be emails. If you're going to email your products out to people, schedule it for a time that they will be sitting down and checking their email first thing in the morning or right around that lunch break when people have time to look at all of that.
That's a great idea. So what I'm hearing is digital obviously is a huge factor in content marketing that we need to be paying attention to. The next one is strategy. I can't stress this enough. This is something you don't want to fly by the seat of your pants on. You need to figure out what content marketing platform is out there that works best for you and plan for this. Because like we talked about before, we need to have a budget, which obviously takes planning.
Yes.
And these are things you need to include in that budget. Also, customer success is emerging as a winner. Your customers want to be happy, so this is important, right?
Yes, yes. It also kind of wraps back into keeping your customers happy. The reviews are out there, good or bad or indifferent. It's nice to follow up with that. A customer is always going to brag on a company that takes care of them.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And it's a good idea to nurture those relationships and keep them going. Don't just sell one product to that customer and forget about them. Keep it going because you want them to keep coming back.
Yes.
Distribution is a driver. What do we mean by distribution, Peggy?
How do you push your content out there? How are you distributing to your customer base or your current customers even? There are things that most companies offer that a current customer would be interested in as well. So how are you reaching them and potential customers, and how are you getting all of your content to them so they can research beforehand? Most consumers are going to do that, so you want to make sure that you have everything out there and they don't go research elsewhere.
That's a good point. One of the things we look at is convenience for the customer. A good example of that would maybe be the restaurant industry. I feel like it's changed a lot just in the past 10 years. There's a lot more restaurants out there offering delivery service, or maybe they even have a pickup window. And I've seen a lot, even here locally in Hayes, that have an app that you can order from. So it's all about being convenient for the customer and what's going to be quick and easy for them.
Like we talked about, everyone is busy now. So to place that order on your app, to pay for it on your app, and then just to pick it up at the drive-through window is not going to shine away from anybody, I don't feel.
Exactly. Okay, so let's review our plan one more time. Peggy, what are those SMART goals again?
We want specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely goals.
Okay. And then with our SWOT analysis, what does SWOT mean again?
We want to review our strengths, our weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Very important. And then we want to figure out who that ideal customer is.
When you're thinking of your ideal customer, keep in mind the customer that will benefit from you, so you get the good reviews, and the customer that you as a company will benefit from as well.
Okay. And our annual budget. Oh, the budget.
Lots of planning. It is kind of a monster when it comes to sitting down and taking care of your annual budget, but keep in mind all of the different things that your company will do throughout the year and how much you need to put into the budget.
Okay. And then, of course, keeping out for those marketing trends that we discussed.
Right, correct.
Okay.
All right, thank you all for joining us today. Becky and I, of course, have had a great time teaching you all of the different things that marketing consists of and what we think is important to make 2019 a success. As you see on the screen here, we have 3 reps that are readily available to be emailed, contacted, phone call, come in and see them. These guys will take care of you and get you in touch with all of the experts here at Nex-Tech to get your marketing underway for 2019.
All right. Well, thanks for joining.
Thank you.